Well, hello there, and welcome back to EVE Online and our little career and our little progress towards enlisting in faction warfare with the Gallente faction. We are still working on the first Enforcer agent, and as I said in the previous episode, please let me know. This is recorded straight after the second episode because I want to get this out of the way, but please let me know if you want me to cut more stuff out, if you want me just to dispense with all the tutorial stuff and just focus on the game, whatnot, and just give me any feedback. But for now, I will continue as before with some pausing of the recording if there is nothing going on and me just killing these sort of low-level enemies and completing the missions, because there is nothing really to these. At least not yet. There isn't anything real tricky to dealing with these career agent missions, especially not the combat ones. I mean, I have just started a regular alpha clone. As you can see, I haven't fitted my ship with anything really, just the guns we have gotten, the afterburner and the shield. Not the shield, but the hardness, which is a thermal shield resistor. But let's actually for now just transfer all of this stuff into here. Want to just stack all. We got a small armor repair, and for now I will do something that I will later say you should never ever do in EVE, which is don't go multi-tanking, in the sense that you should only ever go shield tanking or armor tanking, or in some very rare cases, which we will probably get into at one point, you can also be a structure armored, but that's usually just for what's known as buffer tanking. But we will cover tanking and how to do it more extensively later when we actually start to fit out our ships proper. For now, we are just dealing with these career agents. But yeah, you should never ever multi-tank in going both shield tanking and armor tanking, because you will lose out on a lot of on either utility or damage boost, because most of your utility items will go into your med slots, and basically all of your damage amplifying skills will go into your low slots. So either you go armor tanking and utility based, or you go shield based, shield armored, and then you go armor tanking. Of course, depending on the ship you are flying. It is not every single ship that can be probably shield tanked, and it is not every single ship that can be proper armor tanked. So that's definitely worth noting. And I'm actually getting very, very used to this. Back in my days, and I probably mentioned that, we would used to just right click and then just... But I'm actually growing accustomed to tracking. You can untrack. If you click track here on the mission, it will actually show it here. This is actually a really, really nice improvement that I have grown accustomed to using more and more. Well, look at what the cat dragged in. Care to avenge these pathetic civilians we butchered? I'd like to see you try. Oh, Ansar. You will fucking die for killing those civilians. So let's just turn this on. And we probably won't need the small armor repair, because so far they haven't been able to get through our shields. But for now, let's just kill these. That's the scoundrel that destroyed our base. Let's just turn the sounds down a little bit. That's the scoundrel that destroyed our base. Get them alive as possible, if possible. I'd like to have a word with them in person. Well, then come and get me, fuckface. Come and fucking get me if you can. I might think I have actually fucked around with the audio from my... Yeah, let's actually turn you down just a little bit. What I was trying to say is I think I've actually fucked around with the audio from my main account. So let's just try and go there. Please let me know if the audio is too high or too low. I don't know what the fuck it is with my speech today. Also trying to pronounce obliterate. That's going to annoy me so much that I cannot pronounce that word. I might just pause the recording while I destroy these ships and actually just sit here for 5 minutes trying to pronounce it. But no, in all seriousness, I will pause the recording. There's no reason to see, there's nothing really going on. And I think there will be plenty of opportunities for me to talk about all kinds of shit later. So I will just pause the recording here and I'll see you once this mission is done. You can actually see here also a very nice new feature. It's tracking how many hostiles you need to destroy. So yeah, let's just get that going and I'll see you guys in a second. And just a quick note. Not sure note is the correct term, but it's the one I'm going with. I know I talked about, was it this episode? I have been sitting doing this, so I forgot I'm an old man. It might have been this episode talking about the Magic 14 skills. So I have gone ahead and made a skill plan, and you can see it here. If you want to, these are the Magic 14 skills, sort of. They are not the sort of end all and be all of skills in Eve, but it will definitely enable you to fly and fit your ships better in terms of Eve skills. They will help a lot with fitting and just being more effective with your ships. There are of course a bunch of other skills that are very important, but these are the Magic 14 skills that you will see if you Google. I have just made a small change to myself, and basically it is the exact same as this skill plan here. I have just gone ahead and removed these shield skills here because I will not be needing shields anytime soon. And I have begun training it because there are a lot of important stuff in here that we will be able to fit once we train them. Basically a lot of the Tech 2 stuff. And I think I might actually need to change my orbit distance looking at this, because we are not quite orbiting within our optimal range. So let's just try and change that to 2,500 and see what happens. But yeah, we are circling each other like that, making it a lot harder to actually hit each other. I hope we get a Webifier soon, and we will be covering that. I might actually just go and buy one, because that will speed up these missions by quite a lot. But yeah, I will just pause recording. I just made that skill plan because I know I have been talking about it. If not in this episode, then in another episode. But yeah, these are also the skills with the skill levels that you can train as an alpha clone. So yeah, I will just see you guys once we are done with this mission. And we just completed the mission, and now we will be getting 2 overdrive injector systems. That's actually very interesting that it would give us those. But yeah, these are passive items: turrets, afterburners, active shield. It will basically just shield hardness. I don't think the passive version of these active hardness actually are called hardness. I think they are called something else. But also the small armor repair is also an active item. This is a passive item. You don't need to turn it on. It still has fitting requirements in terms of... no, it actually doesn't. I thought that every single item had that. Okay. But it will make us go faster. And I think that's the only bonus. Yeah, it makes us go faster, but it reduces our cargo capacity, which isn't really a problem. We are only carrying ammunition at the moment, and then whatever we can loot from the missions. But that's basically what they do. So let's just go ahead and... oh, I haven't completed the mission. I will just undock. But yeah, this is most passive items in Eve like this have a positive, but they also have have a negative. Of course, there are exceptions to that. There are passive items that just provide you a straight bonus. But usually, if they don't provide you with a negative, then they will definitely require either a CPU or power grid. And you can increase how much CPU and how much power grid is available through, for instance, power grid management. I detect no life signs within the habitation module, and the communication services in the adjacent security tower seems to be down. I suggest approaching the Le Fleur Inn to have a better look. Its hull appears to be damaged. A cloud of radioactive gas is flowing through the cracks and filling the void surrounding the structure. The corpses floating around the inn are most likely of people who were ejected through the airlock. Make sure you have large collidable structure under the entity group selected in the overview settings. You can easily find the structure I pointed out. Well, that basically used to only be important in the old days, because now it just shows up right here. But yeah, we can definitely see this is quite a large fucking inn in space. But yeah, it basically just shows up and you can just right click here and then click approach. But yeah, you can improve how much power grid and how much CPU you have available, and or you can improve, for instance, this skill here. Basic understanding of ship energy, 5% bonus to the ship's power grid output per skill level. So power grid management just straight up gives you more power grid. There are also skills that reduces certain kinds of items that require power grid, and for instance, and or CPU. Whoa, we definitely need to get the hell out of here. Yeah, we definitely need to get the hell out of here. We do not want to stay here. It's a trap. It's a trap. A smart bomb notched into the hull of the Le Fleur Inn sent out a blast wave that has damaged your ship. You should leave the area immediately. So one thing I will do, and this is very important, you can stop your ship by holding down control and clicking space. Now, for instance, I told it to dock immediately, so it just warped off and it would have docked unless I just kept spamming control space, because then it won't have time to initiate the dock procedure. But you need to do it quick when you are just getting out of warp. So if you did something, for instance, if you were to, let me just show it here, if I were to click warp here by mistake, I can actually control click space and you can see it will actually stop. But with some ships you need to be very quick to stop it, because they will warp off very quick or they will dock very quick, stuff like that. But for now, the reason why I stopped it, I just want to show you. See, we have taken armor damage. We can click the small armor repair. And once that finishes its cycle, it will repair our armor, so we don't have to pay, because that is also an option.
Permission requested.
And once you dock up, your shields are automatically fully regained. So for instance, in this case, all of the shield will be healed once we dock up, but we will not automatically heal armor and or structure damage. For that, we would have needed to go into the repair shop and then click repair item. And now it says it is not damaged. So we cannot repair it because we just did it ourselves. And we can complete this mission. We can request another mission. Oh, we are getting a Stasis Webifier. That is really, really good. Destroy the narcotics warehouse and report back to your agents. So let's just do that real quick. I'll just fly out and get it done. Unless there is something interesting happening, I will see you guys back in station. And one thing I just would like to point out is, because of these two overdrive injector systems, we can now actually go 1230 meters per second. Which is extremely fast. Well, not extremely fast, but it is very fast for a frigate this early. But the Atron is also a very quick ship, seeing as though its Tech 2 counterparts should be the interceptors. Yeah. So the Ares is definitely built for speed, not the Ares, the Atron, but the Ares and Tanaris is definitely built for speed, them being interceptors. So one thing I just would like to point out, now that we are flying so quick, and this was something I think I failed to touch upon before, if we just go orbit and just go 3,000 meters, for instance on this target here, which is basically within our optimal range, what will happen is we will begin to circle each other very closely, and we will not be able to hit each other. I'm pretty sure if I were to engage my gun and just watch Eve just prove my point entirely wrong. Okay, and it just did. Let me just see if I can actually force it to happen. Maybe if I go a bit closer to you. Because what can happen if we circle each other very quickly, sort of like this, it can be very hard for our turrets to track each other. I just had a combat where it happened, so it's pretty annoying that it doesn't happen now. And if you get into that where you just keep circling each other very quickly and very close to each other and you don't hit anything, and now you can see now it might actually happen where we don't hit each other at all, because we are just circling each other all the time. You can see here we keep going around in this sort of very tight circle where we move extremely fast in between, as not in between, but we are moving extremely fast. One thing that can actually help quite a lot is just click somewhere in space away from him. You can see right away, because I change this movement we are doing to actually just I try to move away, and all of a sudden my turrets can track him much better. One thing you can also try is just always say I want to always keep him at range instead of orbiting. Then what can happen, now let's just try and fire him, is that it will not try and orbit, it will simply just keep him at range at all time. You can see also, because there the approach is me just flying straight towards him, my turrets are able to much better track him than if we were going around in a very tight circle around each other. So let's just once again try and just approach them head on, and we should see us hitting them much easier, because we are not locked into into that spiraling movement. You can see once again it's going much better. We are killing them way faster now. See, stuff is coming back to me very slowly. There is a lot of, as I briefly talked about in the introduction video, Eve can be a very complex game, but it can also be quite simple once you know you're dealing with it. And of course skills, not your personal skills as a player, but your Eve skills can definitely help. But also, if you know, for instance, just like I just showed now, if you know what you're doing, you can definitely circumvent a lot of the Eve skills and just apply a bit of your own skills to the game, like I just did there. And there is a term in Eve, it's not angular velocity, it's transversal velocity. Yeah, so the higher this number is, we can just, now we have no transversal, but the higher the transversal velocity is, the harder it is for your turrets to hit and track, and you can break that transversal velocity by moving away from your target. Let's just lock up the narcotics warehouse and let's actually get to looting. What the hell is blowing up? So let's just fire at him real quick. Now we are dealing very little damage. Let's just get this looted up. There's no reason for me to be spending ammo. I'm not hitting him. Let's just get all of these rigs looted up. So I will just see you guys once this mission is done, or unless something interesting happens. So see you in an instant. And here we are back at the station, having just destroyed the narcotics warehouse and actually gotten a Stasis Webifier. Now this will definitely help with the little problem of killing enemies. So let's just get that equipped. And let's just request the last mission. Oh, we will be granted an Incursus now. This is very, very interesting. What is an Incursus actually? Oh, that's an assault frigate in its Tech 2 version. Oh, this is a damage-dealing ship. Now, this could be interesting. You know what? We are actually flying the Atron. How is this? We'll definitely accept it. So let's just take a look at the Incursus. Oh, and we get the... oh, I forget that. So what should we name the Incursus? Again, I really suck at names. What should we name the Incursus? You know what? I will go with one of my favorite Tool songs. 46, and where is the and? 46 and 2. Yeah, let's just name you 46 and 2. And that's just as simple. We have done it. Let's board the ship and enjoy the video. I cannot wait. I am actually really looking forward to these videos. I think they are so awesome. Project Force claim victory, the Incursus. Definitely a much cooler ship than the Atron, if you ask me. So what can this fit? It can actually fit 3 turrets. It has a drone bay. I would say that most Gallente ship has a drone bay. No, actually the Atron does not have a drone bay. Okay, that's very interesting. So let's just strip this ship, because we will definitely be moving to the... let's just look here. Yeah, screw the fall-off damage. I would much rather fly the Incursus, because it actually gave us... Didn't it give us a low slot more? Yeah, we have the same amount of medium slots, but it gives us a 4th low slot. And we can also equip drones. That is going to be so great. So let's just take everything off. That's the charge. You can remove the module and the charge. Yes, do not show me. That basically just came up and said, oh, you are removing an item that's in a group. By removing this item, you will be disbanding the group. Do you want to do that? And yes, we definitely want to do that. So let's get the Incursus. Let's fit all of these guns. I do not want to equip the social book. Yeah, I do not want to. So one thing that's really important is that you should never, ever, under any circumstances, mix weapons. So for instance, at the moment we are using 75mm Gatling rails. You do not want to be equipping a light electron phase cannon. If you are going with rails and 75mm rails, you should equip 75mm rails in all of your slots. Do not mix and match. Do not go, for instance, I don't know if there is a 150mm Gatling rail, but do not be equipping a 150mm Gatling rail next if you are using 75mm. Do not be mixing blasters and rail guns together. Never, ever do that. So let's just equip that. Let's equip that. We will not be equipping the civilian thermal hardener. Let's actually just trash that. We do not need that anymore. We will definitely be equipping these. So the Webifier is a very good item in that it is a sort of what's it called? crowd control item. Not sure that's a term that's used in EVE, but again, I am trying to translate it into other MMO terms. So it's a crowd control item. It can slow down a ship, as it says, reduce target ship velocity by 50%. So that means you target a ship, you use this Webifier on them, you need to be within 10 kilometers, and then you reduce that ship's velocity by 50%, meaning it will go slower. That also includes if they are using Afterburner, and it also includes if they are using micro warp drives, and we will be covering micro warp drives at a later time. But yeah, this will definitely help with our guns being able to track the enemy. So let's just equip this. We are actually running a bit low on ammo. We will definitely be grouping all of these. You can now see a little one. Group 1. You can, if you have, I think the most weapons you can ever have on any ship is 8. Not that you can equip 8 on every ship. You can see here we only have 3 high slots. We are able to equip high slot turrets in all of the high slots. But the most slots you can ever have, I do believe, is 8. And there are some ships that can equip either 8 turrets or 8 missile launcher hardpoints. And then you can make multiple groups, so say group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4, with you having 2 weapons, 2 turrets or launchers in each group. But we have accepted this mission. Find Wolf and take him out once and for all. That's the last mission. I think that's pretty fitting. So we will definitely get to see the Stasis Webifier in effect. And it is also a very valuable item in PvP, as I'm sure we will see. Oh, and for this mission we actually need to travel. So let's set the destination. And let's just get to traveling. And for now I won't be doing any sort of scouting or any sort of thing. I will just not warp into the gate, I will just jump. So I will see you guys once we are in the system again, unless something interesting pops up. We are not in system yet, but I would just like to point out that while the Atron with the Afterburner could fly at 1250, the Incursus with the Afterburner and the 2 overdrives is only able to go just over 1,000 meters per second. So there are differences in how fast, just ships can fly and what stats they have. It's not like the only difference is how many slots the ship have. For instance, this have 4, the Atron only had 3. And it's not like this is the only difference between every single Gallente frigate. There is also a difference in maximum lock targets, for instance, in maximum velocity, in cargo capacity, in the agility of the ship, in the warp speed, in everything. There can actually be difference between all of these different frigates here, depending on what role they are supposed to fill. But now we have arrived in system, so let's just go ahead and warp to the site. And I just need to check. Yeah, we still have a lot of items. Of course, I didn't bring all of it with me. Why would I? I'm pretty sure we need... Yeah, we definitely... I don't know what my brain just did there. We definitely need to go back. Oh, we're actually back in the system. Oh, we're actually back in our old home system. That's interesting. So let's just... don't know why that's interesting. It's not interesting at all. I just thought it quite... Not sure what the word I'm looking for is, but yeah, I just realized that we are back in the system that we started. Not sure if that's intentional on the game. But yeah, I definitely like the Incursus a lot more, and also this little detail when it warps, it pulls in these little wings. Eve didn't used to have all those nice little details. Oh, so let's just get to fighting, and we will definitely see the Webifier in action. You can see here it goes 200. Let's just get that slowed real down. Yeah, it only goes around 100 now. I would think it would only go around 100. Oh, it might not just have been up to full speed. It might also have an afterburner equipped. But yeah, let's just get him taken out. Should help a lot now that we have the Webifier. And we might not see, yeah, we are not able to see the transvelocity. But yeah, you want to keep this number as low as possible. I believe you want to keep that number as low as possible. But for now, let's just get him. Oh, let's get him whipped up. And let's begin actually targeting some of these other ships. Yeah, we are dealing with them so much quicker now. Let's just get the volume turned down a bit. Oh, why didn't that activate? Are we locked into the spiral? Yeah, I think we are. So let's just try and keep him at range. Let's just break off the spiral a bit. And let's just resume fighting. Corelli agent. Corelli spy. Let's try and break the circle a bit here. Yeah, we might consider actually changing to blasters, which are much more close-ranged weaponry, and therefore they should also have a much better tracking speed. But yeah, we can actually see the Webifier effect on the ship being like this sort of pulsing distortion that is around the ship. That is the Webifier that's in effect and slowing him down. Let's just break the circle a bit. Let's actually go away from him. Well, the other ship might have been better at taking out. I'm not sure. I don't think that the other ship would be affected. Oh, it did have some. I think it was a fall off. It had some bonuses too. But I will just loot up these wrecks and then I will see you guys in the next pocket. I have located your target in this area. He is not in fact inside the stolen navy. He is not in fact inside the stolen navy ship. I detected his life site inside the Stasis Webifier tower attached to his outpost. It is currently causing a major slowdown in our velocity. So yeah, we definitely want to take out the Stasis tower, but we were also, just very briefly, and I am somewhat sorry that I didn't get to point it out, but we were also getting sensor dampened. But yeah, at one point we should begin to get webified by that tower. But yeah, we definitely want to take these out as quickly as possible. I mean, it doesn't look like it's slowing us down at the moment, so it might just be flavor text, and we are not getting actually webified by it. Usually there are sometimes webified towers in missions that will actually slow you down until you manage to destroy them. We just want to be very careful of that, because getting slowed down means you take a lot more damage. So, I just wanted to show that we are now on the last pocket and we just need to take out the Stasis Webifier tower and maybe a few waves of reinforcements, but we'll see. But I will see you once the mission is done again, unless something happens. And we just obliterated I think I got it there. We just obliterated the stasis tower, and now we will obliterate Wolf, because he needs to fucking die so we can complete this career agent. I don't know why this is blinking. I mean, we need to kill Wolf before we do anything else. Why am I flying away from him when I have just told him to orbit? Yeah, we need to get closer to Wolf. Let's just Webify him up real quick here. And let's just kill him. Should actually just be able to keep him at range. Let's just go to 4,500. Yeah, he's just... I don't think he's even moving at all. But yeah, we just managed to take out Wolf. This should be the last mission, and we are actually also running very low on ammo. So I will see you guys once we are back at station, where we will complete the mission for our first agent. Yeah, we just need to do... This can sometimes happen when you get stuck in these large objects. What you want to do is just stop your ship, and then just burn. And burn just means just fly at your best speed, your top speed, just fly away from the structure. Then you need to... Okay, so it is actually down here, so it might be better to just fly straight down. So that's just a quick tip there. If you ever get stuck in objects like that, just stop your ship and just fly away from it. But yeah, I will see you guys once we are back in station. And here we are, just arriving back in station. So let's just talk to this dude here, and let's just complete the mission. The Federation is grateful for your service, the Bald Eagle. Thanks to your combat expertise, we've got one less scumbag pirate boss to worry about. If you'd like to further your career in enforcement, there are agents hiring across the cluster. I've heard the Sisters of Eve are looking for capable pilots. Check out the Bloodstained Stars for more information. If you'd rather broaden your skill set, instead, you could start a conversation with any of the other career agents in this station. And that is what we will be doing. Because as I've said, I have a nagging suspicion that we will be getting a complete set of +1 implants, and we definitely want to do that. Now, one thing I am somewhat surprised about is that I was pretty sure... Why can we not equip this ammo? It should be... What is this? Why can we not... Yeah, why can we not use that? It might be because they are grouped. Yeah, it's because they are grouped and they are not... Yeah, so that's one of the... If you are grouping your guns, you need to have enough ammo to load the equal amount of ammo into one gun. So you can't have one shot in one gun and 2 shots in another gun in that's in the same group. So you need to have the same amount of charges in every weapon in a group. What was I talking about? Oh yes, career agents. So I'm pretty sure that back in the old career agents, I was pretty sure you got a lot more ships. I do remember it like you got a lot more ships, but they might have changed that. But I mean, we have gotten shit loot actually. We got a drone that we can't use. So I think we will go, what are you? You are, what are you? You are entrepreneur. You are producer. Oh, we will be granted a minor. What will you get us? Nothing just yet. What about the Soldier of Fortune? Nothing just yet. Okay, so anyway, in the next episode we will be starting another... nothing interesting going on here, I think. We will be starting with another career agent. We have just completed an enforcer. What he was talking about is the Sisters of Eve Epic Arc, which is under here, and then you have Epic Arcs. There are these special kind of long mission chains that you can go on. There is one for each of the player empires, and then there is one for the Angel Cartel, and one for the Goristas, and then there is the Bloodstained Stars, which is the sort of sister. It's something called the Sisters of Eve, which is a sort of neutral faction to everyone. It's not someone you can join in terms of joining Gallente, Minmetal, all the 4 other factions. But you can do this huge quest chain. It has 52 missions, and basically you just get a lot of ISK from doing that mission. But they also get progressively harder as you go through them. And you could actually end up getting yourself killed if you just want to, if you try and do the later missions and you don't have proper ships to do it, because some of them are very hard. I've done the Bloodstained Stars a few times, quite a few times. You can do it, I want to say, one time every 30 days. It might be 15 days, it might be 20 days, but I think it's once every month you can sort of redo the Bloodstained Stars, and I would definitely recommend running through it once. I haven't actually done any of the other, because you need to have faction standing. Let me just cough. So you need to have, and we can just see it if we go to interactions, standings. You can see here, if we check the Caldari state, we actually need to have a faction standing of 5 in order to gain access. It says here you need 5.0 in standing, and then you would gain access to the Epic Arc on behalf of the Caldari state. But and we will cover at a later time how to increase faction standing, but just be aware that normally when you, for instance, if you were to increase, you can see here we have actually negative Caldari state standing. We also have negative Amar standing. That is because we have been doing Gallente missions. We of course then gain Gallente standing, but we lose in its enemies. And if you drop below 2.0, if you negative 2.0, you can only do level 1 missions, and that's a real drag. I didn't know about this when I started playing Eve. I started as a Caldari and I just did missions. There are also, when you take combat missions, what is known as security agents, you can take these security missions, which is basically what the enforcer agent is. You can sometimes end up with missions against, for instance, if you are doing Gallente security missions, you can sometimes end up with missions where you are going against Amar and Caldari enemies. And I had no idea about that, so I just did every single mission. Then I think every 15 minutes, not 15 minutes, every 15th mission you do, you get a storyline mission with the faction. So if you are doing missions for instance, the Federal Navy Academy, basically any corporation that is a part of the Gallente Federation, and you can go in and look, and you can see the member corps that is part of the Gallente Federation. If you do missions for any of these factions, every 15th mission you get a story mission that will increase your standing with, of course, the corporation that gives it to you, but also a bunch of the other corporations, but it will also increase your faction standing. But it will also lower a bunch of other faction standings depending on the sort of relationship that they have with Gallente. It will also raise some other faction standings, again, depending on what kind of relationships they have with Gallente, and we can actually see it here. So basically, yeah, you can see here that which faction has negative standing. So for instance, if we just find very quickly, where are they? So you can see here that Caldari has a -5 standing with the Gallente, and the Gallente have a -5 standing with Caldari. So if you were to do storyline missions, for the Gallente faction, you would lose a percentage of standing with the Caldari state. And as I said, if you drop below 2.0, you can only do level 1 missions to raise your standing again. And more importantly, if you drop below 5.0 standing with any faction in the game, they will attack you. The NPCs will start attacking you when you enter their space. But again, there are also advantages, mostly being the epic arcs that you can do, but you also gain access to various agents. And this, of course, if you were to get, this is faction standing, if you were to get 5.0 faction standing with Gallente, the Federation, you would gain access to level 4 agents. Sorry, just had to cough. You would gain access to level 4 agents from every single corp. You can also do it on a corp basis, which is much easier. You can see here we almost have access. We almost have a level 1 access to level 1 agents with the Federal Naval Academy just from doing these Enforcer missions, where we only have a 0.15 standing with the Federation. We have almost 1.0 standing. You can see here, this is basically, you can see every single change that has happened with your faction. With each faction, you can go in and see the history and sort of what you have done to earn that negative or positive standing. So that's how you gain access to these epic arcs. And as I said, I have never done any one except the Bloodstained Stars. But next episode, we will start to get into the other career agents. And I think we will also do a bit of shopping, because we actually need ammunition now for our ship. And we will cover also a bit of the market. Just one quick thing I want to show is a bit of a just standard things that you should do. Come into gameplay. Basically just press the escape key, go to gameplay. This here, auto target back, always set that to 0 targets. You do not want to have this one turned on. Basically this means if you are in a fleet or squad or wing commander can issue warps, emergency warps to the entire fleet, and that's basically just holy the shit has hit the fan, get the fuck out. We are going to warp the fleet. If you are in a fleet, that's basically the equivalent of being in a group in another MMO. There are fleets in EVE that you can form and you can join. Always have this one turned off, especially if you are going into PvP fleets and also incursion fleets and things like that. Definitely keep a disable emergency warp turned off. Also, auto reject invitations in terms of dueling. You can duel other player in HiSec. It's one of the ways that sometimes gangers and scammers will get to you. They will initiate a duel, and if you have no idea what you are doing, you just click accept, and then all of a sudden you have lost the ship and they have killed you. So definitely just... Oh, actually, yeah, that needs to be turned on. Don't turn it off. Auto reject invitations, definitely good to have that turned on. I thought it was disabled, but this is disabled. This is enable auto reject, so always keep that on. And I think that should be it for now. There are some other things we will cover in terms of broadcast, but that's only necessary when we go into fleets and things like that. But yeah, that's basically it for this episode. Also, I like to keep this turned off, the dynamic camera movement. I do not want to have all of these fancy camera effects. I do not like them, especially not when going into PvP and more intensive PvE. So yeah, that has been it for this episode. Please take care of yourselves, guys. Thanks for all the fish, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.